So today I want to talk about my favorite lenses, and those are the Blazar Anamorphics. So it begins with the same story as any cinematographer, aspiring cinematographer and filmmaker such as myself, as we try to chase the image of our dreams, that image being the most cinematic image possible. That word cinematic is a word consistently thrown around and used a lot, and generally sometimes is interpreted to mean moody and contrasty, but I think really what the word cinematic really infers is an image that gives you the same feeling as you would feel if you sit inside a cinema and consume a movie. That term can also extend to TV shows, as we've seen in the past 10 years or so, where TV shows have been given the same budget and craft as movies, essentially also looking cinematic. I really think that for an image to be cinematic, it's really about immersion. How immersed are you in the image that you are watching? As I said before on this channel, every image that we create as cinematographers, as filmmakers, is essentially a 2D image that we are trying to give the impression of a 3D image. We're trying to give the impression of this image being a 3D image, and therefore we are offering some sort of immersion to the audience. How much can we make you forget the world that you're living in and bring you into our world? This is also what cinema does. When you're in a cinema, when you're in a cinema screen, you can't escape, you are stuck, and you only have the option to submit your attention and your focus to the image in front of you. And I think that's essentially what cinematic means. Therefore, in continuously trying to chase a cinematic image, I am constantly looking for ways of immersion, and I think there's no better way to immerse a viewer into your image than with an anamorphic lens. Now, seeing people talk about anamorphic lenses here on YouTube drives me insane, because the general talking points they offer when speaking about what anamorphic lenses have to offer are the same thing. Being that it's widescreen, it offers a certain type of bokeh and it offers flares. And I think that really does not give justice to what an anamorphic lens is. An anamorphic lens, yes, of course, it has flares when you point it at lights. The bokeh you see on an image is different than you see on a spherical lens. And yes, it offers a wider field of view. But I think the core of what an anamorphic lens offers you is a stretched image. Because you are de-squeezing the image, everything toward the center of the image is an image that's clearer, sharper, flatter, and demands more of your attention, whereas everything toward the edges of the image is more distorted. Now, what that is doing is giving you a kind of warp in the image where you are focused on the center and less focused on the sides. That there is an immersive image. The image is fooling you into thinking it is a 3D image when it is in fact a 2D image, and that is what an anamorphic lens offers you. And that is why I knew I had to get my hands on anamorphic lenses, and I was looking and waiting for the right set of anamorphic lenses that I could both afford but also gave me the visual style that I wanted. The easiest way to understand the kind of image that I'm chasing is looking at the cinematography of the movie that I'm sure we've all seen, which is The Batman. The Batman looks beautiful, especially because of its very particular aesthetic, in which the sides of the image are completely distorted, forcing you to focus on the center of every image. Now, this was done in a very interesting way. There were specific lenses that were bought and retooled in order to achieve this effect. But for us poor freelance filmmakers who are working with local clients and contract to contract, it's very difficult to get that same look. However, that is a look offered by the Blazar Anamorphics, and once I saw what they could offer, I was very, very happy. I bought two focal lengths of the Blazar. I bought 35 and 100. The 35 is fit for a Super 35 sensor, which is what I have with my Ursa 4.6K G2, and the 100mm is made for a full frame sensor, but of course it still works perfectly fine on the Super 35. You just get less of that distortion. But as you can see on the images right now that I'm showing you, you can see that distortion on the edges. You can see that sharp center. And I think what I also love about these lenses is that there's also a vintageness to the image. It's not too sharp. I think that when you want your footage to look more filmic or more cinematic, what you're also looking for is something that looks kind of close to or reminds you of shooting on film. Even though you're shooting on digital, you want your digital look to be softer. You want that digital sharpness to be removed a bit. This is why people usually opt for vintage lenses and old lenses, because it offers you that effect. I am very happy that these Blazar Anamorphics offer that too. There is a sort of vintageness to the images. There is a softness to the images, which is what I want in my images. And yeah, if you want flares, there you go. Flares. Flares, 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 flares. I mean, look, I love flares too, but every single YouTuber that I've watched review these lenses talks about these flares like they are the reason for an anamorphic lens. You do not buy an anamorphic lens for flares. It's just nice if they do hit the lens. Ever since I first picked up a camera, I've been chasing a look. I've been chasing a look that I can get on my budget. And I'm very, very happy that Blazar has create these lenses. It makes me enjoy going out again and just taking random footage, and it makes me feel empowered to go out there and make narrative work, to make a short film, to make my own passion projects as well as client work. Now, of course, it is an acquired taste. It does not mean that I'll be using these lenses on every client shoot. Some clients still want a clean, sharp image. So I think it's important to remember that when you are going to clients and offering them your services, it's important to have a conversation about how they want the image to look before you head out there and hit record. But for my own aesthetic and for the images that I'm chasing, I love these lenses. I know I'm late to the game. I know there's a million reviews of these lenses online, but I do hope you enjoyed my perspective. And yeah, love anamorphics. and love these Blazar Anamorphics even more. Alright, take care. See you soon.